327 Federal Magnum versus 357 Magnum in snub-nose revolvers, and today what I have, Extreme Defender by Underwood. Now, the 357 is actually listed as an Extreme Hunter, as were the 327 Extreme Defender, but it uses the same bullet style. So I don't really know why it's listed as an Extreme Hunter, and I can't find one labeled Extreme Defender. And the 357 Magnum, I think that's probably because it is rated at 1700 feet per second, 120 grains. So that's a lot of energy to be rated at for something to be fired through this particular revolver. So I'm not looking forward to firing it through that revolver. The 327 Federal Magnum, 1500 feet per second, only a 95 grain bullet. So that's going to be a little bit more reasonable as a self-defense cartridge, but we do need to keep them fair. So 2-inch barrel Taurus here, 1.875-inch Ruger LCR. So we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. And as always, we're going to go through the Juggernaut box, which contains a 1 3/4-inch pack of bologna. Kind of simulates like a pectoral muscle, covered by 4 layers of denim, followed by 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard that kind of simulates like ribs or sternum, and then 2 water jugs to catch these bullets. How this normally compares to ballistic shells. Out the back of jug 1, it's about 9 inches, back of jug 2 about 12 inches, back of jug 3 15 inches, back of jug 4 about 18 inches, and so forth. So let's get started with the test between the Extreme Defender, or should I say Extreme Hunter 357 Magnum, and Extreme Defender 327 Federal Magnum. All right, first up is the 357 Magnum. About 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. I am going to go single action with this because I don't want to pull my shots. A lot of your revolver guys are going to know what I'm talking about when I say that, but we're going to see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get. The little snub nose here. So let's see what we get. 1429, 2-inch barrel. And yeah, there's a lot of recoil, so yeah, it is one of those rounds you would pull because you need to really grip onto these. $13.69. $13.91. $14.20. $14.05. Absolutely horrendous feeling recoil, but that's what you get. Now let's see how the 327 Federal Magnum compares. All right, 327 Federal Magnum. I'm hoping this feels a little bit better in the hand. It should. My wrist is still a little bit throbbing from that 357. I'll feel that tomorrow, but let's see what the 327 does. 1290. 1289. 1299. 1282. 1267. So a lot more consistent velocity, a lot easier to manage recoil. Just overall, definitely a round that I would carry. That 357, absolutely not, but it still could have its purpose. So let's hit the ballistic box and see how these compare to each other. All right, first up is the 357 Magnum. Now what we're hoping to see is stopping in jug 3 or 4. Anything more than that would kind of make it be over penetration. And they're claiming that these type of rounds are not going to over penetrate pretty much. So we'll see what we get. Here's the 357 Magnum. All right, through the bologna pack, we have a lot of denim in here. It didn't blow the pack apart like we see with most hollow points, and the exit hole through the fiberboard is the same diameter as the bullet, as to be expected, because it's not expanding. However, what we're seeing is in the first jug, there's a lot more damage than this would indicate. This looks more like a full metal jacket. This does not look anything like a full metal jacket impact. It completely shredded the first jug. That's some of the worst damage, if not the worst damage I've ever seen with a 357 Magnum stub nose. And this is some of the worst damage I've ever seen on the second jug, because typically the energy of hollow points will dump in the bologna pack or dump in the first jug. This is dumping the energy first and second jug. Jug 3 looks typically like a jug 2 on most rounds. The impact is definitely drifting up here a little bit, because the impact is a little bit high on the label, but still kind of centered. on that jug. On this, we're way above the label on jug 3. There's an impact on 4. I don't see any impacts on 5, but there's an exit hole out the back of 4. And there's no bullet in 4 at all. I don't see any damage in jug 5. Actually, I do a little bit here. It's not leaking though. It's just a very tiny amount of damage here. And I don't see that bullet anywhere. So this is a little bit interesting because it took that bullet and just shot it up somewhere. And it's not inside of the box anywhere. So it's very rare for me not to be able to catch a bullet, but no caught bullet whatsoever. So I don't know where it went. But if I were to show it, you would basically see the same thing that you would see how it started off. There's not going to be any deformation of it because it's solid copper. So we can call this that we went through 5 jugs, so that's going to be 21 inches penetration comparison to ballistic gel. So definitely a little bit more penetration than your standard hollow point. But it is a very powerful round that you shouldn't be carrying anyway. So let's see how the 327 Magnum compares. All right, 327 Federal Magnum version. We'll see how this does. So this did not actually separate the baloney pack from the fiberboard like we normally do see. But it looks like jug 1 has a lot of damage, so let's check this out. Alright, same kind of thing going on through the fiberboard and through the baloney pack. We're not going to have larger than bullet diameter hole. And the back of the baloney pack has denim in it. So let's see what we got in water jugs. Alright, first jug. Split right down the center. I've never seen that before. Our entrance and exit hole looked pretty in line, like it didn't deviate from that path. No lid on that jug. Jug 2 also has a lot of damage. Just interesting, it kind of shock-waved that water up and out the side by the handle. Looks like we're drifting just a little bit to the left. Impact on jug 3 on the left there. Jug 4 is leaking pretty bad. I don't see the bullet in jug 3 either. Impact on 4. There's an exit out the side of 4 in the back. So it's continuing to drift on left a little bit. Don't see the bullet in 4 either. And I don't see an impact on 5. So no impact on 5, and we went straight through 4, exited out, and that bullet must have bounced up, just like the 357 Magnum version. So going through 4 water jugs, we're looking at about 18 to 19 inches comparison to ballistics gel, and then it just kind of bounced back out of the way. So that's not over penetration. That's pretty good. If I were to shoot something like a full metal jacket or a soft nose, we could easily punch through all 6 jugs, but we only went through 4. With the Xtreme Defender. So it is apparent that it is slowing it down enough to prevent over penetration, and it is also very apparent that it is causing more damage than a full metal jacket. However, I'm just not seeing where it's comparable so much to a jacketed hollow point. I think a jacketed hollow point does a lot more immediate damage. So I guess it depends on what your use would be for these. I would say the 327, if it's all I had, I would carry it. I wouldn't carry that 357 Magnum unless I had a longer barrel and I was probably hunting with it or something like that. But I think it would make a good penetrator, even though it's not listed as the penetrator, it's listed as the hunter. 357 or 327 though, pretty good defensive round. So that's what you get today with the Xtreme Defender Xtreme Hunter 357 Magnum versus 327 Federal Magnum and Snub Nose Revolver. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.